You need to smile. Why do you need to smile? What happens when you smile? Right? It breaks the ice. The other person smiles back. The other person, when somebody walks up to you and says, what does that say? How do you feel about that? Like, what's the matter with her? What's her problem? Does she have a toothache? Does she have a headache? Does she not want to be here? Whatever. So you need to smile. It's important to smile in your networking. Okay, I teach this a lot, personal presentation pyramids. Within 3 seconds of somebody meeting you, they have decided whether you're competent, whether you're smart, whether they even want to deal with you at all. And 70% of that impression is based on your appearance. 25% is based on your attitude, expression. Only 5% of somebody's impression of you is based on what you actually say. How you look shouts so loudly that you're not going to listen to what they say. Think about this. What if I rolled up in here in jeans and a sweatshirt? Would you be willing to listen to me? Would you really be willing to listen to me? I didn't tell you anything about who I am, other than Professor Miller. This is actually my 3rd career. I've had a 22-year career as a corporate soldier, and another 17-year career as an entrepreneur. That makes me about 98 years old. Okay? So I've been around a long time. Actually, if you see me get up out of a low chair, you'll understand how old I am. Now, the other things that matter, your handshake. Everybody turn around and shake the hand of somebody near you. Okay. Yes. Now, what should happen? Would you mind helping me? Because we have a good contrast. You have to be able, yeah, you got to be able to, when you shake hands, okay, you shake like this, but what should happen is your thumbs in here should actually meet, and you shake twice. Now, you went really easy on me, thank you. But ladies, our tendency is to do this. Okay, don't do the limp thing, okay? If you're gonna shake hands, shake hands. Now, some of you wear rings on your hand, and that makes it difficult. So I found a little secret, because I'm a ring wearer. Collapse your ring finger. And when you do that, then the person, even if they squeeze your hand, it won't hurt. Because a lot of times you do that because you have on rings and you don't want them to hurt. Guys, remember, we already know you're strong. So you don't have to prove it. It should be firm, but not bone crushing. There's one gentleman I know, the first time I met him, and he shook my hand, I thought that my hand was going to just fall off. And now when I meet him, I'm like, don't hurt me. Because I've learned how to stack with these other hands. But now your speech is something else. Your slang. Yo, baby, what's up? You know what I'm saying? That does not work with networking. You need to be formal. Remember the context in which you're operating. Also, as I said before, your eye contact is important. Now, you're not supposed to have a stare-down contest, but your eyes should meet. It's very important that that happens. The other thing is listening. That is so important. So very often, we don't listen. We're so busy thinking about what we're going to say to what the other person has said that we're not listening to what we're being told. And it's really, really important that you listen to what the other person is saying. We don't want to, why is it that we want to formulate what we have to say quickly?
Nervous?
Sometimes it's your nerves, yes. What else might it be? We don't want to appear stupid, and we feel that if we let a second or two of silence go by, actually to us it feels like forever, it's just really a couple of seconds, but we don't want to feel like we don't want to look like we don't know something, so we've got to be ready to jump in here. It's really okay to just breathe and then speak, and listen to what the other person has to say, because it might be something really interesting. You never know. So, pay attention to what they're saying and listen. Is also a big, big, big issue. Your writing persona. Now, all of these things matter, but I'm going to here talk about the visual part, which is your email, your business card. How many people have business cards? Okay. Every last one of you should have a business card. If you're a new professional, you're going to have one by March 28th, right? All of you need to have a calling card. Now, who here is thinking, well, I'm a student, why does it matter? Honestly,
The what?
who here is thinking, well, I'm a student, why does it matter? Okay, I'll tell you why it matters. It matters because that's the way that we exchange information in all of, not just the business formal finance world, but in the medical world, in the in the people who work in museums, in the acting world. We all exchange information with cards. And you should go everywhere with the cards. As an entrepreneur, I've gotten clients online in the supermarket. We're both standing there fetching about the girl and how slow she is and bringing up stuff, okay? Or we're on the self-checkout line, looking at the person who shouldn't be on the line with 35 items and they're slowing us all up. And you start chatting and it's, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And you end up exchanging information and meeting someone. So you really should have a business card. On your business card should be the following: your name, your school, your major, your minor, your expected graduation date, your email address, and your phone number. Now, your email address shouldn't be Hot Big Daddy at Yahoo.com. You need to have a professional sounding email. Something that's easy to remember, preferably your first initial, your last name. If your last name is like mine, Miller, you might want to have some numbers behind it. Maybe your birth year or your birthday or something of that nature. Yes.
I go by the nickname AJ, but my real name is Andrew. Which one should I put on my business card?
Do you use your full name, Andrew J. whatever? Is J your middle name?
Yeah, they're my first two initials, AJ.
Okay, so AJ and then your last name would be fine. Because it looks like first initial, second, middle initial, and last name. That's fine. Okay. And once you get that professional sounding email, you have to check it at least once a day. Which is, yes.
That was a good question. What about nicknames? If we're known as a nickname, is it better to put the colloquial name?
It depends on what your nickname is. Now, I'm going to tell you all this, and if I hear this around the school, you're all dead meat. But my nickname in my family is Pumpernickel. Okay, don't ask. Don't ask, but that's my nickname in my family. So I wouldn't put Pumpernickel at AOL.com. That's really not a good business name.
And what about the name on the card?
The name on the card? What you can do, especially, I know some Asian cultures, they have an Asian name and an anglicized name. You can put both. For instance, you would put your Asian first name and then in parentheses, you would put Denise, okay, that were your regular, and then your last name. So that's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. But you want to do it, whatever you do, you want to do it tastefully. And you shouldn't only put your, bless you, you shouldn't only put your nickname and exclude your first name. I mean, even if your first name, is anybody here named Poindexter? Okay, good. If your first name is Poindexter and you don't really like that, then why are you smiling? Is your name Poindexter? You said Henry. You sure it's not Poindexter? You want to also give people your formal name. Okay, now, we're going to talk about how to exchange business cards in a minute, but I can tell you, if you take somebody's card, you are taking on the responsibility to follow up with that person. Okay, don't take a card and just stick it somewhere. Even if, now I am a believer in sending postal mail follow-ups. Those of you who are my students know that. But I was reduced to having to send email follow-ups to the JP Morgan event because I was so busy keeping up with the students to make sure that they sent emails that I just decided I couldn't I couldn't let it wait any longer. They needed to hear from me by last Friday. You should follow up, preferably within a day or two. Certainly not longer than a week unless there's a problem. And if there is a problem, then you explain, well, I was ill, or there was an accident, or whatever. But, and for instance, in my reply to the people whom I met at JC Morgan, I wrote, I'm terribly sorry for this tardy reply. I was working with my students to make sure that you got thank you notes from all of them. I'm a professor, that's understood, but they still heard from me. We were there on Friday the 28th. By Friday the 7th, they heard from me before the close of business. Okay, so you should always get back to people. Now,
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Should we post our social media accounts on our business cards?
I would post the LinkedIn.
Okay.
And we were going to get to social media and virtual, but since you asked the question, we'll go there now. How many of you have LinkedIn? Great. LinkedIn, you should put your LinkedIn, but make sure that there's something interesting going on there.
Okay.
Watch out who else is posting, what's getting onto your page, because that's very important.
Okay.
Okay.
And
how many of you have, yes?
one more question is, let's say you said that we have to follow up with the person after we get a business card. If their account is on, if their, let's say, Facebook account is on their business card, can we follow up through Facebook? Or would it be email or phone?
I would send an email.
Okay.
I wouldn't do Facebook. I'm very leery of Facebook. My sister happens to be an IT professional. And my sister has informed me that whatever you put out on the internet is somewhere on someone's server, and they can find you no matter how private you think it is,
Of course.
whoever they are. Okay. Potential employers, I mean, even potential suitors. People look up people now. They research them. They pay money to find out what your back teeth are filled with. So you need to be very careful about what you put on Facebook, what you're tagged in on Facebook. Because a potential employer will look at a picture of you in a bathtub holding up a bottle of wine and decide, I don't really think I want to hire him, or I don't really think I want to hire her, yes.
Is there a time that's